Raider Nation, what is the deal? Once again, it's your guy Panama Fargo, and I'm back to y'all live with another episode of the Raider Rundown. And today, man, we got to go over the notes from training camp, from today's camp, man, and we got to go over the good shit that we're hearing about the defense, man. It's got me very excited, very happy, man. So without further ado, man, let's get this intro started and let's get the show cracked.
Young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
Is the deal. Once again, you're watching another episode of the Raider Rundown. If you please can tap on that like and subscribe button for me, even hit on the little notification bell so you don't miss none of the episodes that I got dropping like this one here. But without further ado, man, like I said, we got to go over the notes from today's day of camp, man. And it seems like the defense stacked another good day on top of their good day yesterday. And we said yesterday that one or two things is going to happen. Either the offense was going to come today and with a little bit of a fuck you attitude, and then they were going to come here and shine, or the defense was going to stack into the day. And it seems that the defense on 11 period was stacking another great day. And it seems like there's playmakers all over the field. It seems like the D line has gotten better. And there's one glaring problem that I feel like that we do have to address, and we're going to touch on that a little bit later in this episode. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like if we don't touch on it, we are ignoring the elephant in the room. But it's finally good to see that the defense is making plays. Something that, shit, I don't know when the last time we heard something like this coming from a Raiders defense, and I don't know how long. So, right now we have to appreciate everything that we're hearing coming out of Raiders camp, right? So what I want to do right now, let's go ahead and share the screen, right? Let's share my screen, and then we're going to go over what these beat reporters are saying while they're at camp, while they're watching these guys practice. So let's go ahead and let's start with, first of all, we got to start with Britton Brown. He did leave practice. Okay, he did have an injury, and he left practice with a leg injury. Prayers up to him. Let's hope that he's good to go. I was excited to actually watch him run in the preseason. So let's hope that the injury is not too bad and that he can come back and do his thing, right? But let's go ahead and get into the first couple things. Now, Vic Tafur, this is the glaring problem that I said we got to touch on, number one, right? Vic Tafur is saying that don't sound the alarms, but go ahead and locate them. Jimmy is 1 for 7 with 3 drop picks in scrimmage to close out the practice. Now, that's to close out the practice. All right, and that's 11 on 11 period. This is something that we have to touch on, and something that worries me is Jimmy's having a hot and cold streak at camp. All right, now, yes, he has to get his rhythm. Yes, we all said that that's what has to happen. You know, he's coming off the foot injury, and it's going to take him a little minute to get the rhythm with the receivers, okay? That's the part I'm not worried about. But at the end of the day, he's showing that in camp he has this little inconsistency trait, the hot and cold trait, and that's something that we cannot carry into the season, right? Y'all already know how the Raiders get down, and we've had a plague of starting good, ending bad, or starting games good, ending games bad. Like, this is something that I don't want to be a reoccurring thing. Now we've been seeing that, you know, Jimmy will come back and he will have a good day, but at the end of the day, it's the back and forth, right? And if he's showing that now in camp, it's going to really worry me during the season if that's what he's showing, right? So let's go ahead and go to Levi Edwards. Marcus Peters comes up with another training camp pick. Hopefully these turnovers translate to the regular season. Once again, Marcus Peters paying dividends, right? And we said he was going to pay dividends as soon as he signed onto the team. He doing what he do, and he's getting his hands on the ball. He's getting these interceptions, and at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for. But it seems to be rubbing off on the Raiders' young secondary players, because you're now seeing Jacorian Bennett making plays, as we see here from Tashawn Reed. Jacorian Bennett's been hooping all camp. Just had a nice PBU matched up with Devontae Adams on 11 on 11. Like, if he's making plays on the best receiver in football, and he's looking good at camp on the best receiver in football, we can only get excited for what the future can hold for him, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like we said yesterday, if this kid is able to start, then that just unlocks everything for the Raiders secondary, unlocks more depth, unlocks more athleticism. At the end of the day, I feel like this secondary group is going to be full of playmakers this year, and they're going to turn a corner. And if we're seeing them perform good here against a very good receiver core, I can't wait to see what they look like against the 49ers in the live practice coming up this week. So let's go ahead. Let's continue. Okay. Trayvon Berry just picked off Jimmy Garoppolo in 11 on 11s. Marcus Peters got him earlier on 7 on 7s from Tashawn Reed. Another play by our guy Trayvon Merrick. If you've been on this channel, you know we talked about him a lot, and we've said he has to step up. And it's another day that we talking about him making a play on the football and getting the interception. And this is the type of player that we was expecting to see coming out of TCU. And I can't even lie to y'all. This right here makes me very, very excited. This is the guy right here. I was excited when we got him. And I know some people were on and off about the pick, but me personally, I loved the pick. I wanted him to be a Raider, and I felt like he fit with this team perfectly. And now we're seeing that he's starting to unlock the playbook, starting to understand the scheme, starting to understand his role. And now look what he's doing. He's making plays, and this is all we can ask for from these guys now. Hopefully, it translates to the season, right? And hopefully that when we start playing other competition, we start seeing them do the same thing. We're going to get a good look next week. But at the end of the day, hearing this, I can't get nothing but excited. So let's go ahead. Let's continue. Raiders defense showing out again today. There we go. Tashawn Reed, another tweet about Jacorian Bennett. Jacorian Bennett's been hooping all camp. Oh, we read that already. Let's go ahead and go to Logan Reaver, though. The whole takeaways. Offense started hot, but ended ice cold. Once again, that goes down to the quarterback. And we're saying that Jimmy's been hot. Jimmy's been cold. And it's something that we have to continue to monitor. Now, hopefully, as he continues to go through training camp, he starts to get his rhythm, and you know, we're going to be chilling. But at the end of the day, when you see a pattern of something reoccurring, it starts to worry you. And this is a pattern that we see reoccurring of him being hot, being cold, you know, not being able to just sustain the rhythm that he's had from one day to the next. So got to keep that in mind. Again, offense or defense wins day for second straight time, something that we were hoping could happen. Now, is this a product of the Raiders defense being that good, having that many playmakers? That's yet to be seen, right? That's yet to be seen until we go against live competition and other jerseys. And who knows? It might be the case, right? It might be the case that the Raiders defense has just taken that step, right? The D-line has taken that step, getting pressured, getting in Jimmy's face, pushing the middle of the pocket, collapsing the pocket. You know, the secondary finally has playmakers on it that can make plays. So at the end of the day, maybe that's the case, but at the end, we still have to monitor the hot and cold situation. But we continue. Jimmy G riding the wave of highs and lows. Ben talked about that. Jacoby Myers is always open, and that's something that we knew when we signed him. Well, like I said, bona fide number 2 receiver, got into that. Now, this is something that we do have to touch on as well, and this has to pertain to the O-line. Jermaine Illuminor continues to slide. Now, this is something that we do have to talk about because it's been reported that you're seeing Greg Van Roten and you're seeing Thayer Munford there for the right side for the Raiders offensive line. And Thayer Munford is reportedly pushing heavy for that right tackle spot. Now, am I going to be mad if Thayer Munford wins that job? Hell no. Hell no, because we want him to win that job. At the end of the day, that shows that, one, the Raiders drafted and developed their players like they said they were going to do, right? And now he's coming with a new focus, new attitude, new physique, and he comes in and he looks right. And if that's the case, that can actually be, right, the best case scenario, because then we might be able to kick Illuminor down the guard, right? And we might be able to say, now you have an offensive line consisting of Colton Miller, Dylan Parham, Andre James, Jermaine Illuminor at right guard, and then you have Thayer Munford at the right tackle. And now your depth is very good behind those positions, right? You still have Justin Herron. You still have Greg Van Roten that can back up any of the guard positions, right? And you have Dalton Wagner in the wing that they're working on. I know that Carmen Brasillo and the coaching staff is working on him heavily, right? Trying to get his footwork right, and he's going to be their project. You still got the veteran Brandon Parker. I'm not too keen on Brandon Parker, but at the end of the day, you still got the veteran, and he's back there. He knows the system. He knows the guys. He knows the terminology. So at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing to have a veteran like that. in there, you know. So having that though, and you still have Jermaine who can play the tackle spots if anything were to happen due to injury. Let's cross our fingers. Let's hope not. But at the end of the day, due to injury, right, you're seeing that he can play tackle spots and he's able to kick into the guard. So, and you still got Natane Moody in the wing as well with the undrafted rookie McClendon Curtis as well. So there's a lot of talent, a lot of depth on this offensive line. And if Thayer Munford was able to win that right tackle spot, we're looking real nice. And it's hope, right, that you have the one of the best offensive line combinations that you can unlock, right? And that's what we're hoping. So to move on from that, man, I want to touch on one last thing, the pressure, right? I watched the interview, and if you're watching the pressures after practice of the players, of the coaches, when they're being asked questions, right? Today, you had Zamir White, you had Marcus Peters, and then you had Michael Mayer. When you look at Zamir White, if you're able to see that interview, the dude looks ready to go. All right, he looks like he's ready to take that running back one role if Josh Jacobs were to miss some time. Like if you look at his physique, the way that his body transformed from year one to year two, you obviously see that he worked, he put that work in, and you even heard it in the presser. You even heard how much more confident he sounds in himself, right? How much more confident that he sounds in his abilities in this scheme. And at the end of the day, I do feel like that if he's able to get his tick, he's able to get, you know, a fair share of production, a fair share of carries, he'd be able to make something shake with it. And you're hearing guys like Jermaine Illuminor, you're hearing other guys on the offense say that this guy's just a bull in the china shop. Like he's looking to run through you, not even run at you, run around you, nothing that. He's looking to run through you. And that's the type of attitude right there that's going to get Raider Nation fired up, guaranteed. So I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see what he can do in the preseason. I'm excited to see how much they allow him to do in the preseason and how much quicker and what he looks like in year two. If you also listen to the presser of Marcus Peters, you just hear that this guy is just infectious, bro. Like I feel like, you know, just hearing him talk, you know, I feel like he's going to pay dividends not only on the field but off the field. Like the dude just embodies Raider. You know what I mean? And everybody that's a hardcore Raiders fan knows exactly what I'm talking about. You hear him talk, you hear how, you know, how competitive he is, how hungry he is. It's like, bro, you want that to rub off on players like Jacorian Bennett, Trayvon Merrick, Marcus Epps, like all these guys that's in the our secondary, Sam Webb, Meek Robertson, who already got a little dog in him, right? Nate Hobbs, who already got a little dog in him. These are guys that all that shit's gonna rub off on, right? He says in the presser, they call him OG. And it's funny, right? Because I'm thinking about it. I've watched Marcus Peters pretty much, you know, if you're a real Raider fan, you done watched him his whole career, right? And to see him at the point he is now, being a veteran, still making plays, but now instilling that in other players, bro, it's beautiful to see. It's really beautiful to see. And he's going to be another reason why the Raiders defense turns the corner this year and starts getting their hands on the ball, start having a new mentality. And that's exactly what the fuck is time for, bro, a new mentality. And last but not least, you see Michael Mayer, man, the dude, I think that he's in line for a very good rookie season. I think he's in line. He can get himself at least 600 to 700 yards this season with at least 6 to 7 touchdowns. That's how I feel about the kid. I feel like, you know, his first year, he's going to showcase why we all felt that he was the best tight end coming out of the draft, right? And he's only going to get better from there. But at the end of the day, it's good to see that the Raiders defense is having some rapport, man, having good communication out there and making plays. That's all we can ask for. Now, for the offense, we see that the sparks of it are coming, right? We see that when it clicks, it clicks. But the offense has to stay consistent. That's something we got to monitor as we continue through training camp. And hopefully that's the shit that don't leak into the season, right? Because that's going to drive me fucking nuts. And you're going to see me on this channel get fucking heated if we go through another hot and cold fucking spell again, right? Nah, none of that bullshit, bro. Let's hope that this is just a product of the Raiders defense being able to make plays. So once again, you're watching another episode of the Raider Rundown. Make sure you're tapping in with the like and subscribe button, helping my brother out if you hit on the notification bell so that whenever I drop an episode, you get notified. And make sure you're sharing out the content, man. Let's get these watch hours up. It's much love to everybody that comes back and tunes in the channel. And remember, I always keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.